President Biden is keen to show that transatlantic cooperation can be restored despite his predecessor's actions. During his term in office, Donald Trump pulled out of several international institutions and even threatened to withdraw from NATO. Biden will want to show allies that the US can once again be a reliable partner. Well, for more on this and the US relationship, particularly concerning security and defense, I'm joined from Washington by Bradley Bowman, who's Senior Director from the Center on Military and Political Power at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Thanks very much for joining us on Euronews now. Now, of course, Donald Trump was lukewarm on NATO and publicly trashed European contributions to the North Atlantic Alliance. What is Biden's stance concerning Europe and NATO?
Thank you for the question. Donald Trump's big mistake on NATO was that he did not understand that for the United States to effectively deter aggression from Russia, we needed NATO and we needed our allies. And so he used the Article 5 collective defense commitment as leverage to try to get European countries to spend more on defense. I mean, that's been a longstanding concern. But that was inherently foolish, right? Because by threatening to withdraw American support for NATO collective defense, you're inviting the very thing NATO was invented to deter. President Biden, based on his long time in the Senate, his leadership on the Foreign Relations Committee, and just his general disposition, understands instinctively the value of allies. And I think he also understands the important relationship between the United States and European countries. The question in my mind is whether this administration will make sufficient investment in the hard power necessary to deter Putin and also to deal with China, which is going to be an important topic during his visit to Europe.
Oh, well, it's good that you mentioned that, because I was going to bring up the question of Putin, and Biden's going to meet him soon. When talking about that power, what does he have beyond words to deter Russia on Ukraine and other matters?
Following the meeting with the Prime Minister and the G7 and the NATO summit, all of which are very significant, he does indeed have this meeting with Vladimir Putin. This will be the first major meeting between the U.S. president and Vladimir Putin since Helsinki in 2018, where Donald Trump, frankly, performed, I would say, as an American shamefully in siding with him over the U.S. intelligence community. So I suspect that President Biden will be better in terms of tone and words. But, what does the United States have? I think we have a lot. I'd say NATO generally is far more ready and capable than it was when Putin invaded and illegally annexed Crimea. Our military posture in the Baltics is much better. Our military posture in the Black Sea region is better. But there are still significant problems that we need to confront. And frankly, the Russian military threat is only getting worse. And we've seen their activities in the Arctic, in space, and in cyber. There's just a lot of problems that need to be discussed. And we're going to be more effective in discussing those with Putin if the NATO alliance is unified and capable.
Now, in terms of the bigger picture concerning America's preoccupations, you've highlighted issues like Afghanistan and what you see as the folly of the US troop withdrawal. There's the US presence in Indo-Pacific. There's Iran. There's China. Just how important is Europe for the US in all these type of issues?
Thanks for that question. When I inventory the threats that the United States confronts, you've listed many of them. I'd put China at the top, Russia, Iran, North Korea, terrorism. That's a formidable list. And frankly, those threats are greater than the United States can confront alone, just when you try to look at ends and means and from a strategic perspective. And so based on that assessment, I see our America's alliances, frankly, as General Milley testified today before the Senate Armed Services Committee in Washington, as one of our great grand strategic assets. And these alliances don't maintain themselves, right? These are not naturally self-sustaining. It takes hard work. And that's partly what President Biden is doing in the United Kingdom and in Europe. He's trying to sustain these alliances because, frankly, the threat from China, the threat from authoritarian countries such as Russia and China are so serious, and they're getting so much more serious and profound that I don't think we can respond effectively if we don't respond together. And that's why I'm happy to see the announcement regarding the updated Atlantic Charter. We focus a lot on threats. I certainly spend my time doing that, but we have to also focus on what are we defending. We're defending freedom, the ability of free people and free societies to live according to rule of law and not might makes right authoritarianism. That's what this is all about, in my view.
So when Angela Merkel says that multilateralism is back, she's right?
I hope so. It's not it's kind of, some of these words start to carry political meaning. I think that's unfortunate. The bottom line is, it's kind of, everything I know about foreign policy, you kind of learn on the playground. When you got a bully, what do? You get the kids together, and then you approach the bully together, right? The United States under Donald Trump should not have gone after China on trade alone. We should have first got the G7 together, worked out our minor little family disagreements, and then gone together to Beijing, and we've been much more effective. That same principle should inform our behavior toward Putin and Russia on security, cyberspace, Arctic, and other issues.
Bradley Bowman from the Foundation for Defence of Democracies, thanks very much for joining us on Euronews tonight.
Thank you.